you may begin.
On April 13th, my dad was born at Booth Hospital, a Salvation Army hospital, just south of St. Louis. You can never be afraid to let someone new into your life, especially if they are going to change it. My dad was put up for adoption because his birth mom did not think she could care for him all by herself. I thought of meeting her one day. I did not know it was going to come true. The journey started to meeting my grandmother all started when my dad's cousin found her name and where she was from on an adoption website. I always thought of meeting her, I just didn't know it was going to happen this fast. My dad was put up for adoption because his birth mom was not married whenever he was conceived, and she never married my dad's biological dad. My biological grandma was a strong believer in God and the Bible, and she wanted my dad to go to a good family. Her selection was pointed towards a kind Christian family. She is also a nurse, and whenever you put babies up for adoption, you usually get to see the baby once, and then they take them to the new family or take them to the adoption center. But since she was a nurse, she got to see my dad twice before he was taken away. My dad's adopted family was a blessing. They loved him and the rest of our family dearly. My dad thanks God for giving him a great family in such a hard time. My dad's biological mom did the right thing, and I always knew she loved him because she made sure he went to a great family who could care for him because she knew she couldn't. Growing up with my dad's adopted parents was not any different than you guys growing up with your parents' biological parents. I looked at them the same, and I called them grandma and grandpa just like you guys do. My grandma Neville was not able to have kids, that's why she went and adopted, and she changed my dad's name to Mark Allen Neville. She spoiled my siblings and I and loved us very much. We were the only 5 grandchildren she had, so she loved us very much. She will always hold a special place in my heart and the rest of my family's. When I grew up with my dad's adopted parents, I thought about them a lot, but I still thought about my dad's biological parents because it was just kind of a dream of actually meeting them. It was just an ordinary day last year, eating lunch in dining hall, until I got a text from my dad in our family group message. My dad was telling our family that his biological mom was looking for him. I looked up across the room and looked at Matthew, who was reading the same message. We both looked up at each other and made eye contact and smiled because we knew this was a new journey. The story of my dad finding his biological mom is kind of funny. My dad's cousin was just messing around and found her on the internet, found her name and where she was from. My dad's name whenever he was born was actually Robert Morgan. The hospital he was born in was meant for young, unmarried women who are pregnant. My dad has driven past this location most of his life, but he didn't even realize that's where he was born because it is now a visitor center. My dad's mom, Kathleen Mitchell, signed up to find my dad on an adoption website, and so did my dad's biological dad. They kind of made an agreement to look for him because she wanted to meet him so bad. Since my biological grandma was such a strong believer in God, I think this encouraged my dad to become a pastor because she wanted him to go to a Christian family. And this has also improved my faith because she's kind of my role model because she believed in God and the Bible very much. My dad's biological mom had a one-way communication by sending letters that gradually turned into transactional communication when my dad started writing back and telling her about him and our family. My dad's biological dad lives in Canada, and we have not met him yet, and I don't know if we will. Our family grew up not knowing her and her family, but this changed from 2 different systems to one happy system. She wrote my dad letters every year on his birthday, April 13th, but could never send them because she never knew who he was. These letters symbolized love because she sent the letters and wrote them without even knowing him, and she still thought of him in her heart. My dad started writing back and sending her our church bulletins, and he has visited her twice and met his half-sister, but he also has a half-brother. My dad tells my family God had a plan for us because my grandma Neville only passed away a couple years ago, but now he's opening a door to another family we can love. With everything happening so fast, I did not know how to really feel about it. Never be afraid to let anyone new into your life. My mom and dad thought to themselves and used self-talk and debated whether meeting them was a good thing or not. My mom was really afraid to actually meeting them because she did not want to invade their family with our family and mess something up. But we met my grandma Kathleen and my aunt over Christmas break in Arkansas. It was a really great experience actually because I can see how my dad's biological mom really looks like my dad. I was scared to meet them because I already had a grandma, my grandma Neville. But I always knew my grandma Neville had a special place in my heart and could never replace her. I hope to stay very well connected with my new family. Only after meeting them one time, I already miss and love them very much. You can never be afraid to let someone new into your life, especially if they are going to change it. My grandma Neville will always hold a special place in my heart, but so will my new family. It is crazy to me and my family to think of how this happened and how fast it happened. It was a blessing. It is not about what happened in the past, but what lies in the future. Thank you.